Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where I haven't checked. Let's see what happened with the manpower cheese. Shall we? I don't know why. There's just this huge sense of apprehension right now. Let's see what happened. Oh my. These are full, aren't they? Yup. They're all completely full. Okay. Did it also fill our naval manpower? Because we had a submarine that, or rather a cruiser that couldn't be deployed. Yeah, that's been deployed, and we're now making a new one. Interesting. Okay, well, with that underway, we are definitely going to, well... Okay, so I want to make a quick... I want to check something here real quick. How much manpower is this? A truly ludicrous sum is the answer. We knew that if it worked, that would be insane. 262,000. Did it also fill our air? Hang on. It did. All of that deployed. Okay, so we got not quite 300,000, I think. Because, like, 8,000 for the cruiser. Probably another... I don't know the exact number. Probably about 5K for the air, I think. Something along those lines. So, like, 275,000, approximately. So, what did I do differently here that I was able to reproduce it this time? That's a good question. What happens if we load the no cheese version? Because we made a no cheese save here. So let's go ahead and save that, or rather load that in. And let's see what we've got. Okay. We tick it forward. We have 20 manpower. And yeah, we don't have anything here. Did it deploy? No, it didn't. Okay. Interesting. Oh, wait. This is ticked forward slightly from the last one. I just noticed that. This one is in 1 o'clock 3 June. The last one was not. I ticked it forward manually. Interesting. Very interesting. Well. This feels actively exploited to me, for sure. So I think we're going to have to come up with some sort of a rule set about this. And the question is, what rule set will we set? Well, manpower is our biggest concern, right? Like, manpower is by far our biggest problem. And I am planning on declaring war on Japan imminently, who has been losing a lot of manpower fighting the Germans. They have, however, gotten a lot back by mobilizing further. That will hurt their production, to be sure. What are they on? They were on, I think, all adults serve at this point. Intel Ledger. Yeah. And they've mobilized up pretty dramatically. But all adults serve here. Yes. So that's going to hurt their factory output by 30%. That's pretty major. So here's what I think we're going to do. We're going to take a one-time boost here to our manpower. With that being not like this, but rather I want one additional armored division. Like this. So we'll not like that. There we go. I want to set the location here. We're going to take this one-time manpower boost. And then from here, I'm just going to leave these divisions here, training. And if they fill, they fill. I think that's going to be our way forward here. We're not going to do anything else to attempt to exploit that, because I don't like... in fact, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop most of this manpower. I don't feel right having this. So, let's see. In these games, it's usually just manpower, and I'm guessing that's what it is here too as well. So, minus... I think I'll drop 200,000. I just don't feel right having it here. So we'll do that. We'll keep the 32,000 just because it's a bug. It's not something I'm doing. So we'll keep 32,000 as a one-time boost. To be fair, I do feel like I exploited it here. But we're going to get rid of 200,000 of that manpower. And from there, we'll just proceed like this, and we'll just kind of ignore it. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I haven't figured out what causes it yet, and I haven't figured out how to predict whether it'll be there or not. It just seems to be somewhat random. Okay, so we're going to bump this up to full speed here, and we'll just proceed from here. Now, we do need a little bit more steel from the US. In fact, we can't get it from the US. We can get it from Germany. I'm wondering... Oh, that's weird. The US very briefly wasn't actually delivering it, I think. Okay, we have too much aluminum here. There. That should do. As far as our production goes, our production is going okay. We are working on upgrading our carrier fighter 3s. And this is a Mark II. So that's fine. Yeah, that all looks okay. So we've got a decent amount of manpower right now. That manpower will disappear pretty quickly as we train these up. Cool. So we're going to finish up modern oil processing in 13 days. We're definitely not going to go to war with Japan until aerial mine laying is done in 55 days. But we definitely want to go to war with Japan. I'm very interested in seeing whether they continue to land and get pushed out of India. Because if they do, their manpower will continue to plummet. They're at 3 to 4 million right now. Are they still mobilizing up? I think it's safe to say that they're closer to 4 million than 3 million. But they're definitely losing manpower. And they can still go to scraping the barrel, which they probably... Oops, I didn't want to go to their focus tree. They probably will end up going to scraping the barrel eventually. There's modern oil processing. That's good. We want to continue working on our oil production for sure. I'm not too interested in rubber right now, so we're going to grab fuel refining 3. There we go. And how much oil are we currently gaining? 153 from our refineries. Cool. So, we don't really want to get involved in fighting Japan anywhere where they're actually, you know, strong. Which is one of the reasons why we're planning on attacking New Zealand. Now, we don't have much intel on what they have in New Zealand, but I'm willing to bet it's not very much. We'll see what it ends up being. But yeah, I'm just going to leave this be, and if these fill, they fill. And the same thing with these. If they fill, they fill. And we'll just use that as a bit of a boost to get going in our war against Japan, I guess. I don't know. It feels a little weird, but it is what it is. In some cases, like, there's a lot of manpower that we have here that I just didn't notice it. So that's definitely a bit of a problem. But that's okay. So we're going to attack Japan soon. Very soon. Do we wait for this heavy ship hull? It'll be done on 11 February. Let's take a look at our current Navy. We've got 5 destroyers. We've got 4 subs. No heavy cruisers and no battleships at this time. We do have 2 carriers. I'm going to pull 1 dockyard off of carriers and onto our cruiser hull. You should not be on heavy ship at this moment. There we go. I wanted you back on cruiser. Cool. So that'll speed up that cruiser finishing somewhat. And we're doing okay on this. Yeah, we don't need another carrier super quickly. So that's fine for the moment. Ultimately, once we take over New Zealand, we should get our hands on quite a number more dockyards, which will help us. What do they have over there for supplies? Or for resources, rather. They have some steel, they have some oil, and they have some tungsten. Okay, tungsten isn't hugely useful for us right now. The steel and the oil is. So that's good. We're very glad about that. I do want to hop into our covert map mode here. And I want to start building a spy network in Tokyo. Okay, let's get that going. Hello, are they attempting to land here? Kind of looks like it. Interesting. There's our aerial mine laying done. So with that done, we're now much closer to being willing to do this. Now I'm going to grab advanced landing craft here. Invasion defense plus 50% is pretty huge. We know Japan's very into naval invasions. So that's a good thing, for sure. I don't think we can do aerial mine laying before we're at war, can we? We can? We can. Oh my. Okay, so we're definitely going to work on that. We're going to start our aerial mine laying now in each of these sea zones. Cool. Not down here. Not down here. That's not going to happen. Okay. You know, really, now that I think about it, having our destroyers being a separate task force isn't actually a bad idea, because we can have our destroyers heading out here with their mission being minesweeping, which we can't do right now, obviously, but that is something that we can certainly do. Hey, you don't have to hold position here, but yeah, that's not a bad idea. Our destroyer's primary goal is, in fact, sub-hunting, which would mean, not really convoy raiding, but let's see. Oh, I think we just patrol and minesweep would, I think, be what we would end up doing there. Okay, so we've got our mine laying beginning at this point. The question is, how many mines are we actually going to get out? And is it actually going with us not at war? We were able to assign the mission. It has 3.6% efficiency here, 21.1, 57, 28, and I think that's mostly due to coverage. Keep in mind our bombers don't have a lot of range. If we wanted to change that, we would go to our Firebrand and create a variant, and we just boost up this range. That would be 175 air experience, and for now, that's okay. We're not going to do that. Now, we do have some good Navy experience right now, which means that we can grab a doctrine. Submarine offensive wouldn't be awful. Mass strikes would be good, though. That's for sure. We'll grab that. Cool. pressure mine has finished up. And from here, we're definitely going to grab aerial mine sweeping, although we're not really going to do too much for aerial mine sweeping for the moment. We do want to get this mine laying done. Is it actually being mined? I don't see it being heavily mined at this time. It's possible that we might actually be doing the naval strike mission right now. We should go through these and turn off the naval strike portion and have us just focus for the moment on mine laying, because naval strike doesn't matter right now. We're not at war. So that's fine. We can also bump up the number of planes that we have here if we want. Let's take a look at our construction here. We are still working on our radar. Okay. Now, are any of these non-level 10 air bases? I believe we upgraded these already. The Bismarck one is only level 1. We should bump that up to top priority. But the Solomon Islands one is level 10. Everything else is good to go. So that's beautiful. A week per level isn't too bad. So we'll start getting that upgraded. Okay. And the question is, when are we going to declare on Japan? The answer is that should happen very soon. I'm not convinced that we're actually laying these mines. I would be a little shocked if we're able to preemptively lay mines. But I don't see any going out currently. So I don't think that's currently going. I'm going to see about sending out our destroyers here. I want to just see if we can see their troops on the coastline. Okay, we see some troops down here. We're just scoping this out right now. Some troops down over here. Okay. There's not a lot on New Zealand. Well, we don't know how many there are in those locations, but I'm assuming it's not a lot. Okay. Let's check in on our division training progress. Those are almost done, and we're going to put those into our area defense here. Although, really, area defense is not necessarily what we want, but it'll be fine for now. So we'll get those recruited up. In fact, there's one that already was just recruited, and we'll move them on in. Cool. Republic of Indonesia dropped their factory count. That's interesting. That's very interesting, actually. So Bismarck will be done soon, and we can toss some of this manpower into making our air wings larger. It's an option. Let's go ahead and double these. Up to 100 each for right now. So I'm going to double all of these up. That'll be fine. That will help us a little bit on our control of these areas. And we have to keep in mind Japan is fighting on a lot of different fronts. That's the hope that we have here, is that Japan is fighting on so many different fronts that they're not really going to be able to do anything. So yeah, that was about another 10k in air power there. Good to know. That is very, very good to know. I want to declare this war, and I want to do it soon. That heavy ship will be done in 1955. Okay, what do we have right now in our reserve fleet? We have a light cruiser in here. Right, we would. We should have a cruiser in this. So it's actually classified as a light cruiser, not a heavy cruiser. So we'll get rid of the heavy cruisers here, and we will put in light cruisers. There we go. Cool. And then we immediately get that light cruiser. Beautiful. That will help out matters, of course. Our cruisers are set up as anti-air boats. So they're going to help our carriers deal with any air power. Our cruisers are not particularly good at ship-to-ship fighting. That's not the point of them. Our submarines are intended to be really the ship-to-ship fighting, although the heavy ships are supposed to have a pretty decent impact on that as well. But what we need more than anything right now is to get our hands on naval dockyards, and New Zealand is, I think, a good place to do that. I do want additional divisions defending our shores. Like, this army is, I'm pretty sure, sufficient for taking over New Zealand. The question is, how do we defend everything after we have that? Japan is a big threat. Oh, hello. That's some heavy fighting going on over here. How is Japan doing on their manpower? Yeah, they're definitely still mobilizing. Okay. That's rather large. How's Germany doing on their manpower? They're actually pretty low. And they're scraping the barrel. Germany is in a lot worse of a position than Japan is, actually. Oh, Japan's attacked over here as well. Interesting. The real question is, how's Turkey doing? They're also scraping the barrel. They're at 294k. So, if we're going to hit Japan, it needs to be fairly soon. Otherwise, Japan is going to get pretty out of control because the Central Powers are stretched to the breaking point right now. That's pretty clear. How's Poland? Poland is doing well on manpower, but they're scraping the barrel as well. How's Britain doing? They're on all adult serve, 1 to 2 mil. Okay, they've got a decent amount of manpower to go. How's the US? Oh my, that's a lot. Okay. The US would be willing to join our faction if they weren't in their own faction. That's hilarious. Sure. So the US has a lot of manpower. What we need is for the US to actually start using it. Japan is definitely the threat. The Central Powers are incredibly close to breaking here. And we don't want Japan to be the ones to break them. Yeah. We definitely don't want Japan to be the ones that break them. So I think the time for intervention is basically upon us. Now, these are all full currently, so we're not, if I was to put in a cut here, I would not expect any additional manpower. So this seems like a good time to do it, when we're not going to get additional manpower here from this bug. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and next episode, I think it's very clear that the time to attack Japan is upon us. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, Sigma162, JJ Gamer, Ken2In, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Kadra, Raw Potato, Elmichi Nazi, Justin Everett, Emiliano Cambron, Martin Lawrence, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.